The Biosecurity Amendment Bill number 2 and the Customs Excise Amendment Bill number 2 are set down for third reading forthwith.
Speaker.
The Honourable Nathan Guy.
I move that the bills divided from the Border Processing Arrivals and Departures Levy Bill be now read a third time. Mr Speaker, we've had a very robust debate this afternoon and this evening, and I thank the contribution from the House. Primary sector leaders, as I've mentioned this afternoon, this evening in the House, are welcoming it, and some are even calling for a higher levy similar to Australia. I know that some tourism commentators are saying it will reduce the actual tourist numbers coming into New Zealand, but I doubt that their concerns will actually materialise into too much when we look at those forward projections of tourism growing at about 3 to 4, potentially more % a year over the next 4 to 6 years. These tourists that come to New Zealand, they come to enjoy, in part, the great outdoors. Our biodiversity relies on a very strong biosecurity system to avoid pests and diseases entering New Zealand. We've had numerous examples where they've entered, and Didimo, of course, is one that's pretty topical, and that has affected many rivers in New Zealand, and of course that doesn't go down well with our clean green image that we like to promote our country on. The fundamental principle behind the introduction of the border clearance levy is that it is fairer, that travellers who generate the need for these border clearance services contribute to the cost of these activities. Over half of the cost of the levy will fall on foreign tourists, which the government feels is appropriate. The levy will put border services on a sustainable footing by allowing funding to increase as passengers rise. This is fairer, it's more responsive to managing the risk at the border, and our officials at the border will continue to provide quality services. There is still much to do before we implement this on the 1st of January 2016. A public consultation period, submissions to be analysed, deciding on how the levy is to be collected, what the final rate will be, then striking a levy order and beginning to educate travellers before we move into the 1st of January next year. So in summary, Mr Speaker, I'm very proud of this bill. I'm very proud of the contribution that the National Government has made in Budget 2015 to strengthening biosecurity, and also the contribution that's being made from Customs as well in Budget 2015. The levy makes sense. It's about fairness, and also importantly, a contribution for everyone that wants to be involved in biosecurity to get on board and engage in the Biosecurity 2025 strategy, which is out there soon to be widely consulted on. So a lot happening in this space, and that's why it will continue to be my #1 priority as Minister. I commend this bill to the House.